Well, it's still windy and brown and ugly out here. It's green in here. Ugly, green. All right, well, it is April here in Michigan, and man, it has been a long winter, and it's not over yet. It's supposed to be like 19 degrees tonight, and it just seems to not end here. But we are moving our focus away from maple syrup and on to gardening season. For us, if you watch the videos in the past, you've been following along to kind of the changes that happened in our life last year back in September. We are trying to make it as farmers. We have a plan, and I'll put the link to that video of kind of the whole plan. Different things going on each season of the year to keep us kind of busy and spread out with our income resources and things like that throughout the whole year. And so gardening season is a big one for us. Our plan was to sell some seedlings early in the spring, so that'll be kind of the next thing after maple syrup. So what's our plan? I'm going to take you through some of the things that we have talked about and planned on doing. This is a very early kind of fluid plan, I guess you could say, and it'll kind of adjust as we go here throughout the season. But we do have some ideas and things we're going to get started on. We are a little bit late. We really wanted to sell flowers and things like that, and we kind of should have started a few weeks ago if we were going to do that. But the weather here has been rotten. It's been cold, and the greenhouse stays warm during the day but not at night, and I just don't have the resources in place right now to heat this or create other systems in here to keep seedlings warm and things like that. So we needed to wait until the weather broke a little bit, and that is coming very soon. So let me take you through the plan on how we're going to supplement our income by selling some seedlings as well as starting our own seedlings here for our farm. We've got a huge garden planned, and so we need to get a lot of things going. So let me show you what we've got and what the plan is. All right, so the greenhouse, this is one of our biggest assets. We built this throughout the winter time, if you've seen the struggles with that. But it came together very nicely. It's been just what a great little shelter it's been for boiling maple syrup, and now getting into gardening season. You can see the grass in here is already pretty tall, so it's been doing its job, and I think it's ready to support some vegetables growing in here. So this whole area, this is a 50-foot long building here, and it's about 10 feet tall, 9-10 feet tall in the middle. It's about 6 feet tall on the sides here. You know, this is about 6 feet right here. So I've got a good area to put some tables along the sides. I may do some raised beds right in the middle to practice and mess with some growing in here in the colder months, and then tables along each side. So, and we're going to be getting all of our seedlings going in here. Now we're going to start the seeds inside, and I'll show you what we're doing for that. So I'm a fan of these little seed starting trays with the clear tops on them. And so we've got a bunch of these. I think we have 10 or 12 of these trays. These are 72 cells each. And so I think we have like, I want to say we have like 840 or somewhere above 800 individual cells total. And so that'll get us started on a lot of our stuff. Now these aren't super deep, so we're not going to be growing, you know, a 2-foot tall tomato plant in one of these, but these will get us going and get a lot of our seedlings started. So this is what we're going to be using. Now we're going to start all of our seeds inside in our basement, or where it's warmer, and once the seeds germinate and the temperatures are supposed to warm up out here, we'll be then moving them out into our table. So I have a few days or a week at least to start building some tables in here, and if we have to, we'll throw it right on the ground. But we'll be moving out to the greenhouse once things start to sprout. When you're sprouting seeds, of course, heat is the main ingredient, and that warmth and humidity in these little deals here inside the house will get those seeds germinating quicker. Then we also have these larger trays, and I think we had 10 of these. So I think we had like 180 individual cells of these. And so these will be for things that we'll leave in here a little bit longer. We may do some peppers and tomatoes in these that we'll leave in here longer. We also will probably do some things like pumpkins and melons and other things that have larger root structures. And so this gives a little bit of a larger growing area for larger stuff. So here in Michigan, in about 4 to 6 weeks, we're just the beginning of April here, so in about 4 weeks we should start seeing people start to buy seedlings. I never plant anything in the ground other than like potatoes or onions or root crops. I don't plant anything in the ground here in Michigan before May 15th. That's just my rule. The latest for our state is sometimes can be like the 25th of May. So we aren't too far behind the curve, but people do start buying seedlings in May. So we do have about 4 weeks before we'll be actually, I assume people will be looking for stuff. So these littler cells should give us a good amount of time to get, you know, maybe a 6-inch to 8-inch tall like tomato plant, maybe 6 to 8-inch tall pepper plant. So good starts for people to buy. Once you get things started in these, if they start to outgrow these cells, our plan is to start to transplant them into bigger pots and still sell them throughout the season. So we may be able to sell in June to some late starting, you know, garden people a plant that is already flowering or maybe already has tomatoes on it. You know, maybe we can put it into some larger 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch little pots and you know, have those things available for people to buy ready to go. And of course, whatever we don't sell in the season here by you know, May or June, we'll go ahead and just start planting in our own garden. And so I'll take you out of the greenhouse here in the wind, hopefully it's not too bad, and show you just a couple of our ideas for later on in the season. So we're going to be prepping for our own gardens and also to be selling some excess vegetables and produce later on in the season. So let me show you what the plan is for that. This winter is just never going to end. So out here in the back of the hayfield, this gets real good sun throughout the summertime. So south is over here. We got our sun will be kind of real high up in the sky over here, and it really only gets shaded during the very, very late evening hours. So this is a good area to grow in. It kind of bumps out for our hayfields. And using the sickle bar and the baler and stuff like that, I usually only get a couple bales out of this little area anyway. And so I'm not too worried about using some of the space and kind of squaring this field off. So I'd like to grow 100 pumpkin plants back here and have a huge pumpkin patch where we can, you know, harvest those for an October sale. We'd take them, you know, up to the front by the road and have a huge stand out there where people can come get pumpkins. And then whatever we don't sell, they are excellent feed for our pigs and chickens and other animals, including our goats. So we'll be able to use any excess that we have there for feed. And so at least 100 this year, and then maybe next year 200. So we'll get a spot tilled up and wood chipped and all set up for a garden space right back here. It's freezing cold out here. This is ridiculous for April, even in Michigan. But so for you guys, this is where we need your help. We've been looking around, and you know, to be honest with you, we haven't bought a lot of seedlings. We normally start all of our own, and so we don't have a real good handle on prices. So what do you guys think for some prices? We're looking for some price ideas for, I don't know, maybe a 8 to 12-inch tomato plant. What would you pay for one? Pumpkin plant, melon plants, things like that started. You know, what would you pay for those? Love to hear some ideas. What do you guys think? So we also have this, here's our pasture fencing. This is where the pigs are going to go. So we've got this space in front of the greenhouse all the way along here. It goes all the way up to the kitchen garden, which is right between the garage and the house, right in that area up there. What I was thinking was I'd like to till up this whole area along the fence here, make a path from the greenhouse all the way up to the kitchen garden, and then maybe do a huge section of wheat here. We have some ancient grain wheat, some einkorn wheats, and maybe some sweet corn and things like that we could plant here. Again, this gets pretty good sun. It is shaded a little bit by some of these trees. I don't have a problem cutting a few of these down though if we need to. So big garden space here that will be more of a production area. I'd like to plant kind of maybe 1 or 2 main crops there that we could use for our own consumption, and then maybe like a sweet corn sale or something in July. Of course, we have the kitchen garden, so we'll be replanting this. We're going to do raised beds this year for most of this, so I'll be working on those coming up here pretty soon, and you'll be seeing a lot of pallet videos and things of how I'm going to do this for as free as possible. I'm also going to be building a new trellis here. It'll be a different trellis on the garage here. This will be for peas and cucumbers and mini pumpkins and things we'll be doing here. Different style trellis though than I did here. I've got the invisible trellis, which you can't really even see. This is fishing line that's in here, and this worked great for sweet sugar snap peas and mini cucumbers, smaller things grow really well on this. So we'll be reusing this one, but I'm going to try something a little different over here. So I'll have videos on that too. Oh, the goat saw me. So up here we have the busy road. If you watch the initial tour of our home here, is one of the things we liked about this home is 25 acres, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but we're on a main stretch of road here, so this road is fairly busy. We're past rush hour now, so it's a little bit quieter, which is nice. But we get a lot of traffic through here to the expressway, and so farm sign will go out front here, and we plan on using one side of our garage for a farm store. Whether I get that done this year or not, I don't know, but the plan will be to wall off one side, make a door and an entrance to the garage where there'll be a store set up in there. But for seedling sale and pumpkins and all that kind of stuff, we'll have that probably set up somewhere in the middle of this little half circle here. So we've got an in, and people can drive around, and then they can exit right out the other side. So we'll have it set up so it's real easy in and out. Have a big stand set up here in the middle somewhere where we can have our seedlings for sale. We'll have to move them out here and back in the greenhouse every day, but I want it up front here where it's easy to people to get to, and people can see it driving by. I guess there's a winter storm rolling in or something. It's just freezing cold out there. Michigan's weird weather. Sometimes in April it can be, I've seen it be 80 degrees in April, and as you can see, like, it's about 20 degrees, 25 degrees right now. It's just freezing cold outside. So hopefully the winter will leave us here soon, and spring will actually show up in Michigan. It would be great. But what do you guys think? That's kind of our plan. I will do videos on everything. We're going to be taking you guys along with us for this whole journey. Complete failure or success, either way, you'll be along for the ride. Seed starting mix will be coming up next probably. Peat moss. Everybody has something to say about peat moss. I will be talking about that and what our raised bed mix is. If I have a soil mix video that I did, I'll put a link to that up in the eye there as well, on the card system. We had a really great luck with our raised bed mix that we did a few years ago, and I'm going to bring that back to life here on the farm. Seedlings, what do you guys think for prices? I'd love to hear from you guys. You know, what would you pay? What's a good price? We're looking at, if we can sell about 700, maybe 800 plants, individual plants. We're going to be selling mostly various kinds of tomatoes, peppers. Those are things that are big buys out here. Pumpkins, melons, cantaloupes. We'll probably be starting a lot of different kinds of tomatoes. We might even start some zucchinis and some herbs probably, and some other things that we can start here and get a good jump start on. Those are kind of the most popular things that we see in the big box stores and places like that. So I'd love to hear suggestions too on other things that we should start, because it's not too late for us to jump on MI Gardener's site and order some seeds and have them in a few days to start planting. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think? What would you think would be our best sellers, and what do you think are the best things that we should sell, and how much? What's a good price? Even if we were to sell every seedling, tomato or pepper seedling for $1, I think that's fair, and that would get us, you know, I think keep us going pretty good for the next month or two. So that's just where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think. But I've been taking you guys along for planning on these things because I want, I've gotten so much great information, feedback, ideas from you guys on the greenhouse and the maple syrup operation. I'd love to hear from you guys. I do. I really appreciate the ideas, so let me know what you guys think. Reach down and hit thumbs up for me if you can. Subscribe if you want to follow along. The next quite a few videos are going to be all about gardening, so I'd love to have you guys tag along for that. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.